Prices are rising for car owners, and it's not what you think. The costs we're talking about might seem small at first, incidental, or they may even seem hidden. Beyond the initial outlay, your get around town might be guzzling more than fuel. But let's break it down. Joining us this morning is automotive expert Lauren Fix with Car Coach Reports. Good to have you with us this morning, Lauren.
Good morning.
Good morning. How much does it cost on average to run a car in the U.S.?
Well, it depends what you own and, of course, where you live. And there's going to be a lot of variances there, how well you take care of your car. But on average, if you take everything across the country, about $12,800 on average per year to make your vehicle function. And people don't realize that. They're thinking, what are you talking about? I don't pay that much in car payments. But it's all the little incidentals that you don't think of: insurance, depreciation, gas, parking, and all the things that you think, oh yeah, I didn't calculate that in, but that's the actual cost to you.
Yeah, so worthwhile to lay this all out. What are the main what are the main pieces of the pie here?
There's a lot of pieces of the pie to consider. So if you're taking your average cost of a car right now, if you were to purchase a new car, somewhere around $1,000 a month, and that's quite a bit. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, it was a couple $100 a month to buy a car. I remember buying my first car, but now you're looking at $1,000 is the average across the entire country for a new car. So people are keeping their used cars. They're on the road longer, typically around 15 years. So previous to the pandemic, the average age of a car on the road was between 10 and 12 years. Now we're looking at 15 years. People are getting smarter about getting the most value out of their vehicles. But when you look at the total cost, you are going to have depreciation. There's nothing you can do about that. 99% of cars on the road do lose value over time. There are some exceptions, such as Ferraris or Porsches, but most people don't own vehicles like that. So rarely are you in a situation at the end of your lease where your vehicle is worth more than the buyout at the end, which is why most people don't buy out their leases if you're looking at a new vehicle. But when you're looking at costs in general, now the cost of gasoline has dropped under the President Trump's uh, you know, c- term so far. Hopefully it'll drop further, but right now we're looking at around $2,200 a month on average. Obviously more expensive in California and in New York than it might be in the middle of the country or Texas where they're refining it. Insurance, well, that's gone up across the board. We've covered that on our channel. And the reason for insurance costs going up across the board, and you would think, oh, the cost of replacing the car. That might be one of them. But electric vehicles cost more. And when you're in a fender bender in an electric vehicle or a hybrid, typically the insurance company does not want to take the risk of something else happening that you can't see, such as the battery catching fire, which would be very serious. So they're totaling the cars, and then the cars aren't usable. So it costs more because they have to replace that vehicle. Then you've got the fires that were in California, the floods that were on the East Coast, all of that across the country, even though you're like, I don't live there. I live in Mississippi. I didn't have any problems at all. But the total cost of that insurance company goes up. So your average cost of insurance is around $1,700 right now, which is quite a bit. So I always recommend every 6 months, shop around because your policy is a 6 month policy. And you can go online without calling all these companies. You can go to an aggregator locally and say, hey, this is my car. I've got a really nice, clean driving record. I have a really nice credit score. I don't have young kids driving. Can I save some money? And a lot of times they'll tell you to take a school and that'll lower it as well. And that's just a day of your time, but it's a savings. Maintenance is big. The car care counts is really big on telling people the average cost is around $1,200, but that's increased to $1,500 a year. So what is that? Oil changes, tire rotations, alignments, all the things that we don't think of. So when you're thinking about maintenance on a vehicle, it's really important that you be proactive. And what does that mean? That book in the glove box that most people never look at, there's a service schedule in there. And you have to look at that. And I always say, but underneath all those napkins, most people don't even look at that. But there is a
Right.
service schedule. And that service schedule will help you save money because if it says that, and this just happened to, so I get a lot of emails from people asking me for advice. And one gentleman said, hey, do I have to replace the timing belt on my car? And I said, well, how many miles? He says, 121,000, but it said recommended at 80. I'm like, ooh, that's a problem. And sure enough, a few weeks later, the timing belt failed and it ended up costing him thousands of dollars rather than hundreds of dollars. So that owner's manual can really save you money.
It sounds like there are actually quite a few steps that people can make, and a lot of people are making. You mentioned perhaps holding on to their cars a little longer. Which of the hidden costs or fees do you think most drivers underestimate?
I think the depreciation. They think when they buy a car and it's used and they're going to keep driving it. And I have a lot of friends that have vehicles over 100,000 miles. And yes, vehicles will do that if you take good care of them. I think when they realize they go to sell it, that's a big shocker to people. And I've had 4 or 5 friends recently say, well, it's time to get a new car. And they take the vehicle to a dealer or try to sell it online and they realize, oh, it's only worth like $2,000, maybe $3,000. And that's a shocker because of the depreciation. It sort of keeps dwindling over time. Like I said, there are some very rare exceptions, but for the most part, this is what's going to be standard across every vehicle. And you're getting your money's worth if you're really wise when you purchase or lease. If you purchase and you keep it for a long period of time, and you really take care of it, you will get the most value out of it. Remember, it's doing a purpose for you. It's getting you more than point A to point B. It's getting you through life. But it's also important to note that if you're leasing and you're thinking about leasing a new vehicle, there's a sweet spot that's between 10,000 and 15,000 miles. If you drive more than that, don't lease. It's going to cost you more in your overage fees. And if you're driving less than 10,000 miles, don't lease because you're leaving money on the table. Why pay for something if you're not going to get your value out of it?
Such great insights right from the center of all of this. Thank you so much, Lauren Fix, coming on this morning.
Thank you.
If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this, and check out our car review channel, Car Smarts. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee, and if you want even more content, check out the links in the description. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.